How lucky are y'all? You get 2 stories 2 days in a row. I know you're so excited. All right, boys and girls, before we get started, I want you to take a deep breath. You're going to see some pretty big words in this story. Our word structure of our in our reader is about to start changing. It's about to start getting a little harder. You're moving closer to 2nd grade. But I wouldn't give it to you if I didn't think that you were ready. So let's start to look at some words together. Now, I don't know if you remember, but before we got out, we talked just a little bit about KN. KN is a really tricky digraph because K doesn't make any sound. You can just pretend that K is not there. You can cover it up. Okay? So let's look at this 2-syllable word. I know it's 2 syllables because it has 2 vowel sounds. And just like some of our other words we've looked at, it has 2 consonants in the middle. Now, usually we divide in the middle. I don't see a reason not to. So let's sound that out. We've got nap, nap, sack, knapsack. A knapsack's kind of like a backpack. It's kind of an old-fashioned word for a backpack. All right, let's look at our next one. Now remember, we're looking for our vowel sounds. I know that E is going to be a vowel. I know that ER is an R-controlled vowel, but they still make a vowel sound. I've got an I, but I'm pretty sure that E at the end is going to be a sneaky E and isn't going to make a sound, so I'm not going to mark him. So I've got consonant, consonant. Let's see. I don't have my double consonants here, so we got to kind of play with it. So I think we're going to divide here, and that gives me X for a first syllable. That sounds right. And I know I don't want to break up my R-controlled vowel, so I think the other one's going to divide here. So we've got X, Got to make a decision about that C. I know when my C train runs into E, I, or Y, it usually says S. So I think that C is going to be soft. So exercise, size, exercise, exercise, exercise. Took a little bit of work, but we got there. Let's look at this one. I know it's 2 syllables because I have an I and an EE. Remember, boys and girls, we're looking for vowel sounds, not just the letters. In between, I've got 2 consonants, which means I'm probably going to divide in the middle. Frisbee, 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 frisbee. Has anybody ever played frisbee, the round discs that you throw outside? All right, and our last one. Well, I know I've got a U, I've got EE, so I've got 2 syllables. I think this one is a compound word because I recognize this first syllable. So I'm going to divide here. I think. We can always redo it. Sun, sun, screen, 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 sunscreen, sunscreen. It's screen. It's something that screens you from the sun. Sunscreen. All right, now let's go ahead. Let's look at some vocabulary words real quick. We know what flip-flops are. Think about the shoes you put on your feet. But to understand this story, we have to know what a cove is. A cove is a little area of water. Like, if this is our beach, we'll do an umbrella here so that you know that's the land. And here's a fish to show you this is the water. Okay? So, if we had a little area that came in like this, and so we had water, and it's kind of surrounded by land, it would be a cove. It's a little area of water, of ocean, that's surrounded partly by land. So there's going to be a cove in our story. We also need to know what it means to wade. If you wade into water, wade is a verb. It means that you walk through shallow water. And the last one, we have a verb that's called yelping. If you yelp, what do? So somebody in our story is going to yelp. So let's open to our table of contents. If you don't have your Grace book, you have your Grace book, your workbook, and something to write with. So go ahead and do that. So we've read Mr. Spencer and the Rabbits. We've read The Picnic by the River. And now we're going to read Ants. I can make a connection, and I bet you can too. Why do you think today's story is going to be called Ants after learning what you did about the picnic by the river? I make the connection of at the end of Picnic by the River, how did Grace feel about the ants? She liked them, right? She liked the ants, as long as they weren't eating her picnic basket, is what she said. So I wonder if that has a connection to what we're going to talk about today. I guess we'll have to see. So we're going to turn to page 14. Alright, so you should be on page 14. We're going to read our story once together, but I'm not going to answer any questions with you today. I want to see what you can do. Alright. The next week, Grace came running home after class, so after school. "Mom!" she said as she raced into the kitchen. She raced into the kitchen. "We got an ant farm for our classroom." Ooh, there's a compound word. For our classroom. So where did Grace get an ant farm? At school, right. It's made of plastic. So you can see into it. You can look inside and see what the ants are up to. You can see them when they take bits of food back to their nest. It is so cool because you can get ooh, that's a big word, glimpse into the lives of ants. So, sorry, the dogs are playing in the backyard. Why can we not usually see what ants are up to? Think about the way we normally look at an ant bed. So this is what the side of their ant farm looks like at school. You can actually buy them on Amazon if anybody's interested. Her mom smiled and nodded. She was glad to see Grace filled with excitement. Grace went on. Miss Frances, which is her teacher, Miss Frances, says that ants are insects. All insects have 6 legs. Bees and termites, ooh, we've read about termites before, are insects too, but they are not as cool as ants. In fact, some ants can lift objects that are 100 times bigger than them. So how does Grace feel about ants? What does she think about them? Sounds like she thinks they're pretty cool. Cool! What else did Miss Frances tell you? Asked her mom. Ants have a queen, but not a king, Grace said. The queen is the top ant. Hang on just a second, I'm going to put the dogs out. Candle. Go. Thank you for your patience, boys and girls. The queen is the top ant. She is the boss. The rest of the ants feed her and take good care of her. I like the sound of that, said her mom. But it's a hard life for her, said Grace. She has to make lots of eggs, so she has to be deep in the center of the anthill all the time. The queen ant doesn't get to come out and about and go steal picnic food. Grace stopped to inhale. What does it mean to inhale? It's to breathe in. So she'd been talking so much she needed to breathe. Then she asked, Mom, can I run out in the yard and look for ants? Yes, you can, said her mom. And out Grace ran. If you go out to look at ants, please be careful and make sure that they do not get on you or bite you. That's the end of our book, or of our story. So remember, boys and girls, how many times do you read your story? 3 times. We've only read it once. Let's look at our questions real quick before you go and read your story. Alright, I put my name on my paper. Number 1. What is an ant farm? An ant farm is... And where are you going to find the rest of your story? Or rest of your answer? Duh. You're going to find it in your story. You're going to look back. Make sure you put the page number that you found your answer on. Who is the queen? The queen is... And you're going to look back in your story. Make sure you find your answer and write your page number on the bottom. How do the rest of the ants take care of the queen? If I was answering this one, I would do the rest of the ants. That's your who. Now you find the what. The rest of the ants do what? And write your page number. Number 4. Why could the queen's life be a hard life? I would do the queen's life is hard because... The queen's life is hard because... And tell me what you found in your story. Alright, boys and girls, I've helped you restate the question. That means that when I get the picture of your answers, they're going to be beautifully restated. Capital letter, punctuation at the end, page numbers that match. Please make sure this page, both front and back, gets uploaded to Google Classroom so I can see it. I want to see your very, very, very best work. Also, when you finish, as a reward for all your hard work, I'm going to attach a video with some more cool information about ants. You don't have to do anything with it. It's not for grade. It's totally just for you to give you some more prior knowledge and to get you as excited about ants as Grace is.